Welcome to Wrestling for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Just wanted to introduce this video series. So my goal is to create a library of videos. I'm going to record some when I can't find what I think I want on the internet, but also we'll just link to videos that are out there on the internet. And again, the goal is to create kind of a comprehensive collection of videos that show really all of the basic techniques, setups, finishes, defense, for the wrestling side of the takedown side of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And I really want to keep these videos short, so like 1 to 5 minutes, not a lot of talking. We're going to do a lot of talking in this video, but not a lot of talking in the videos in the library, really just kind of the basics of the technique and some of the key techniques. And then obviously, as you're learning wrestling, there's a ton of stuff out there. You can get in a lot more into the weeds. But here, the goal is to create a short, comprehensive collection of videos for wrestling. So obviously you're here because there's utility for wrestling. There's utility for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu of wrestling, and that's primarily in the takedown game. But also there is, if you've ever rolled with a wrestler, you know that they're pretty good at scrambling, and also that there's like a mindset, an aggressiveness that comes along with wrestling that can be really effective for jiu-jitsu. And so already you can see that what we're talking about is not just technique. And so the technique is important, but there's also the development of, like kind of more basic skills and a mindset to go along with it that can be really helpful for jiu-jitsu. And so what that points at is the fact that, we'll do a little math, right? So the average high school wrestler probably does 25 to 50 live takedown goes in every practice. And so if you do that 5 days a week, you throw in maybe another 10 or 20 live takedown goes at tournaments on the weekend. Over the course of a 14-week season, the average high school wrestler is probably going, at least 2,000 live takedowns. So that means that the average guy who wrestled for 4 years in high school might have 10,000 takedowns under their belt. And I'm not talking about drilling, I'm talking about live takedowns, right? And then if you want to compare a college wrestler to that, right? So this is somebody who probably has been wrestling year-round, started wrestling when they were 5 and wrestled for 15 years. Now you're looking at somebody who might actually have 100,000 live takedown rounds under their belt. And you compare that with somebody who's been training jiu-jitsu, who, that the basic idea of jiu-jitsu is that your technique will work if you're doing it against a fully resistant, competent opponent. And if you are going maybe 1 takedown go a month, even if you've been training jiu-jitsu for 10 years, you've still only got, 100 or a few hundred takedown rounds in you, and you compare that to somebody who's got 10,000 or 100,000 takedown rounds. So why do we do all this math? Because the point is, if you want to get good at wrestling, then you've got to wrestle. If you are here because you want to improve your wrestling for jiu-jitsu, then you got to make sure that you're going live takedown rounds when you are rolling in the gym. So find partners who are willing to make that agreement with you. Hey, when we roll, we're going to make sure that we always, nobody pulls guard. We got to earn the first takedown. And then when we hit the mat, we're doing our jiu-jitsu, right? So just add that, incorporate that into your rolling. If you have a hard time finding that, or if you're, in a situation where it's just not available to you, maybe you can find, here in Buffalo, there's at least one intramural college wrestling club that anybody can go visit, and there's some guys from our gym that have done that. But find a way to do that. I also would encourage you to find, I'm available to help people here in our gym, but find somebody who's got a wrestling background who can give you some pointers, who can roll with you and help you out when it comes to the wrestling. And then the last thing is there's a real importance to drilling, because a lot of wrestling technique really is about timing. The takedown game, timing matters. Timing matters in all of grappling, but it really matters a lot in the explosive, dynamic takedown and scrambling game. And so there really are 2 different kinds of drilling. There's like the really slow drilling where you're trying to understand the technique, make sure that your position is perfect and that you're doing everything exactly right. But then there's the drilling where you're drilling really almost at live speeds. Your opponent's not giving you 100% resistance, They're just kind of giving you a look, but you're really drilling at full speed so that you can develop that timing and explosivity that's important for the takedown game. And so that's actually something that if you're going to take your wrestling seriously, your takedown seriously, you're going to have to build that drilling into your weekly habits, your weekly workouts. So again, hope you enjoy this video library, Wrestling for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.